Earnings season, beating or getting beat up. Joining me is Matt Cheslock to talk this week. Hey, Matt, welcome to Thursday.
Thank you, Vaz. Good to see you gutting it out here.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, we'll see if I'm still wise without my wisdom teeth. And thank you again for taking the time to meet with me today, even though I can't really talk that much. Maybe you'll do the talking about earnings season. Looks like earnings have been a bit better than expected, except sales. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know what? I think the bar was set so low for these earnings, and we talked about over and over, that we've seen like 75% of the companies that have reported have been beating. The sales question, that's really interesting because I think people now have walked back to what they're going to actually buy here a little bit. They were concerned about how the economy was shaping up in the 2019. They were concerned about what the Fed was doing. So we started to get a lot of good data later in the quarter. But earlier in the quarter, people were still a little bit concerned about where the economy was headed. So I think if you probably could break down the earnings to the front half and the back half, you'd probably see the back half was a little bit better.
Speaking of sales, people were kind of concerned with Google's sales not growing and the company not being transparent with their YouTube sales.
Yeah, it's a tech company, right? They're constantly evolving. You look at Apple on the other side of it. The Apples were so good. It was their service side. It was the iCloud. It was the music. It wasn't just the iPhone. And people were concerned last quarter about them hiding iPhone sales going into the holiday season. So, you're constantly evolving as a tech company and how you're reporting earnings and what is a bigger concern or question for analysts and for investors.
Meanwhile, there's been an influx of buyers in technology. Do you think that will still be the case for May?
Wow, so many people are afraid to miss technology, and we've seen the markets really explode. We've seen the NASDAQ go over 8,000. That brought buyers out on a psychological level. But we've kind of slowed down this week after earnings. We've seen individual companies perform well, but we haven't seen the broader market really react positively. We've seen a little bit of a small sell-off in the NASDAQ. It's down 5 of the last 6 days, I think, and it might be the first down week we've seen in a while. We've seen some focus going into some other names. We had this $2 trillion infrastructure play, so we saw some individual names that might benefit from infrastructure spending rally. We've seen banks rally because, that was a sector that was so unloved for so long. So, there's money being moved around different places, setting up for some of the new IPOs that we're going to have, some of these big IPOs that are coming out. So people are adjusting their portfolios accordingly.
Yes, after an IPO respite, we're definitely going to have a lot of IPOs coming up. Meanwhile, not getting a lot of love is Square today. The stock is down almost 8%. Is that a competition thing or is it a forward guidance thing after Jack Dorsey said it deserves more value?
Well, it's had a tremendous run. It's been a tremendous company and a great story for so long. So that might just been a little bit of fatigue in here. People are a little bit concerned after the earnings, some of the comments that were made. So just a little bit of a sell-off might provide a buying opportunity after a day or two. And, you see these markets, sell off for a couple of days. We saw Google have an extension after their earnings. So you might not be looking to buy it right yet, but eventually it's probably a pretty good story to continue to buy.
Well, speaking of buying opportunities, Matt, we've had a great run in the stock market. Why buy up here?
Well, I just think you're afraid to miss out. But I think really the main reason is where else are you going to go? You're not going to make any money in the 10-year or anything like that. So foreign markets just aren't there yet. There's a lot of concerns about that. Gold hasn't really given you. Oil's already had a big run. We're seeing that pull back on some data that we had yesterday that was way out of the analyst range. So if you're going to invest, you're going to try to, right now, you're picking individual stocks, and that is beating the market right now as a whole. So that's what investors are doing. They want to play a little bit of catch up. We've had, market's been up 18%, I think, this year so far. So people are pretty good. The economy looks pretty good. The Fed's been pretty indicative that the economy looks good. There are not a lot of signs of recession, at least in 2019. So why not buy stock?
So where else are you going to buy? Right here. And where else are you going to watch? Why watch the Kardashians when we have enough drama going on right at the New York Stock Exchange? Thank you so much, Matt.
All right, Vaz, feel better.